Everybody, say hello to the latest member of the Drive Home Reviews family. This is Barnabas. Barnabas enjoys the adrenaline rush that comes with suspense and horror films, but doesn't like violence, so his life is a litany of contradictions. And what this proves, above all else, is that if I ever marry into a rich family, God willing, and they play some kind of satanic game, I hope the thing comes up Claw Machine, 'cause I, the Claw Machine Master. Anyway, so, getting crowded over here. Oh man, I don't even know. Okay, let's try. There we go. That's a bit better. Boy, you got a creepy face there, Barn. Anyway, so, stepped a little outside my comfort zone on this one because, as most people who have watched this have heard me attest to, I'm not a horror movie fan. It's not that I don't enjoy the adrenaline rush of a good suspenseful film. Honestly, and I don't care what you say about me, call me a wimp, call me a wuss, call me anything you want. I don't like gore, and I don't like torture. You know, I don't like to see people in pain. It's not, especially uber realistic, twisty, like sick pain. All right. So, and that's what a lot of horror movies are nowadays. So, why did I go see this one? Well, because I actually watched the trailer for it. And what it looked like this film was to me is this film fell kind of in a gray area of quote-unquote horror movies that I actually do like, and that is the kind of over-the-top comedy horror, where the gore and everything is more for comedic effect, more than it is to gross me out or, anything like that. Films in this category include Cabin in the Woods, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, that kind of thing where, yeah, it's gory, but the gore is so over the top and everything that it adds to the humor. So I didn't know which way this one was going to go. Was it going to live up to that, or was it going to be an actual horror movie? And then I'd be sorry. But I decided I'm going to take a shot, and I'm glad I did. So this was a fun film. Not quite in my wheelhouse, but it definitely benefited from not taking itself too seriously, or seriously at all. Just seriously enough that you can kind of enjoy the premise, but not so serious that it's not going to laugh at the premise. So, the film, in case you haven't heard, so this film is about this young woman named Grace, who marries into this obscenely wealthy family. A wealthy family that got rich in games. I've never heard of anybody getting rich off board games, but apparently they did. But this family has a bizarre ritual. Should put my hand here for a while. And that is when somebody new marries into the family, they have to play a game on their wedding night. And there's this random card generator that decides what game they're going to play. And basically, from what I could understand, they didn't go into too much detail, is that if you get any other card, chess, checkers, backgammon, you just play that game. That's all it is. But if you get hide and seek, then it becomes a most dangerous game situation, literally. And everybody has to hunt you down, and then when they catch you, sacrifice you to the devil, essentially. So, already you can just hearing the premise, you can tell that this is a film that, again, wisely is not trying to take itself too seriously. It realizes the concept is goofy, and it turns into that skid. A lot of the extended family and the hunters are, some level of incompetent or ridiculous. There's a lot of great comedy, violent comedy beats. They had these, the family has these 3 servants who, during the hunt keep running in to tell them things and accidentally getting killed. They have, the daughter of the family is like a crack whore, and like, she just keeps fucking up in the most horribly funny ways. She's married to like a guy who like doesn't know how to work the crossbow, so he's checking YouTube for instructional videos on how to use a crossbow. So fun little bits like that. I think if there's a knock against this film, I think it doesn't pick a lane. Lindley and I kind of talked about this when we were discussing Dora the Explorer. In that film kind of swerved in and out. This one doesn't swerve so much, but it can't quite decide, does it want us to take this seriously, or is it going full-blown comedy? I think it could have veered, maybe just for my taste. Again, not a horror movie fan, so I'm only speaking for my own tastes on the matter. I think it could have swerved a little bit more into the comedy area, but then again, being rooted in a little bit of realism did give a lot of the characters some payoff. It did the thing a parody or a comedy should do. It didn't laugh at the subjects. The characters took it all 100% seriously. We, the audience, are the ones laughing, not them. They're not laughing with us. I think the real star of this film is the star of this film, and problem with doing these off the cuff, I don't know the actor's name, so I'm just going to call her Grace, the young lady playing the bride who's being hunted and fighting for her life. She's fucking awesome. And boy, does she wear a lot of hats in this. I mean, she's got really good chemistry and really good comic timing with the guy playing her husband. They banter back and forth very casually. It sounds real. She sounds like a real person when she's talking. So she has that down. She's got, again, very good comic timing and very straight-faced comic timing. Again, there are no little winks to the audience on this one. She is playing it 100% serious, and because of that, the humorous lines land more. So she's pulling that off, and then she's also pulling off the every woman, stuck in an impossible situation and becoming more badass as it goes on. What I like about the character is it's a little different from kind of other characters in that genre. She's not a sweet, innocent little thing who then becomes a badass over time. She always has a bit of spark to her, always has a bit of fight to her, and that fight just kind of comes out. But at the same time, she knows when to play it vulnerable and scared and real, so that we relate to her. So she definitely does the heavy lifting in this film, and she's pretty fucking awesome in it. I'm kind of mad that Margot Robbie is playing Harley Quinn these days, because I don't like Margot Robbie, but I do like this young lady, and I think I'd much rather see her play Harley Quinn than Margot Robbie. The rest of the cast is pretty adequate. They're, it's kind of typical. It's kind of like Clue on speed. All the characters are really turned up to 11. They play it fairly well. I don't know. I think the rest of the cast is kind of interchangeable, and I don't mean that in a bad way. They play their parts well, but you could probably find a bunch of other actors who could play the part just as well. Again, what I kind of define as a really great performance is one that after I see it, I can't imagine anyone else playing that role. And this one, these other characters, it's like, but they all play their role admirably. Probably the next best shout out is the guy playing the groom's older brother, who is the most conflicted of the group. You know, he's kind of constantly bouncing back and forth, and you never really know, you know, where his loyalties lie, you know, when he's going to do a heel turn or what. So he plays it really close to the vest, and it comes out really well. It's a pretty good performance. I guess if there's a knock against this film, and again, this is for me as a guy who is not usually, for the reasons I've mentioned, there are a couple of moments in this that are a bit gruesome and a bit more, oh God, pain kind of things than what I am usually comfortable with. And again, that's a me thing. If you're a horror movie fan, especially of modern day horror films, probably the shit in this is going to seem so tame, you know, you're just gonna laugh it off. But for someone like me, yeah, there's at least one moment I can think of that is just a bit much, you know. And again, for me, and you can call me whatever you want, but you know, I stay in my lane. A good rule for movie reviewing and driving, honestly. I'm trying to think of what else to say about this movie. You know, because I did enjoy it. But I'm trying to think of what else to get into, because I don't want to get into spoilers. I don't think the spoilers in this are that surprising. You know, there are a couple, I guess, I don't want to really get into. You know, you should experience it fresh. But at the same time, they're ones that, you know, again, if you've seen a horror movie or you know the plot of any horror movie, you can kind of guess, you know, where this all turns out. I guess while it was a fun movie, I guess I was a little disappointed that it wasn't a little bit more. I don't know. When she's running around hiding from him, I was hoping, you know, the trailers kind of give you this feeling that, you know, she's going to turn the tables on him and go all John McClane, and I was kind of looking forward to that, and that part doesn't really happen. You know, she is always, you know, the chaste. You know, she does try, you know, and I guess maybe that's where the movie pulls a great bait and switch on us, where the trailers tell us one thing, and when she does it, you know, nothing kind of works out the way you expect, which is good, keeps you guessing. But, you know, you were kind of hoping that, you know, she was going to kind of show these fucks, you know, what's what. And again, while she's not a pushover, you know, she was still kind of the chase. I'd be very curious to know what Lindley thinks of this one on the Feminist Rage-O-Meter. I'd be very curious to know that. But yeah, I'm really not sure what else to say about this film. I'm really not. I guess the only thing I'm thinking of is that it was, well, you know, I'm not going to get into that. That's a political matter, and I don't get into political stuff on this show. Unless Lindley's here. But yeah, I thought, you know, for someone who's not into this kind of stuff, I thought it was a fun horror-ish movie. It knew when to take itself seriously. It knew when to take the piss out of itself. And as a result, for someone like me, kind of a casual fan, it was enjoyable. I had a good time watching it. And I guess the best thing I could say is I would probably watch it again and put it in, you know, fast forwarding past one or two spots. But I'd probably watch it again and put it in like my Halloween rotation along with some of the other films I mentioned. So, shorter review this time, but, you know, what the hell, doesn't all have to be long, so let's just wrap this up and say final grade for Ready or Not. I'm gonna go a B- on this one. A B-. I think it was not necessarily the best possible version of what it was trying to be, but I think it was a pretty damn good version of what it was trying to be. So, you know, that's saying something. Again, when someone like me can go to a film like this and have a good time and say, okay, I thought that was fun, then I think the film is doing something right. So yeah, that's Ready or Not. So yeah. I wish I had a better wrap up. I don't really have a better wrap up for you today. I'm just trying to make this turn. I went to an earlier movie today, and which is good because I can get some other stuff done. But on the same token, there's a lot of 7 o'clock traffic now that the movie's let out. Anyway, so that was the traffic report. I'm sure you all care about that. I should wrap this up. So anyway, thank you again for joining me. We'll always be back, and as always, drive safe, and I'll see you at the movies.